This video is not for the faint-hearted. It is not going to be fast-paced. There's no crazy edits. It's not a quick fix. There is no magic pill that you can take to find the answer to the question that you're asking. What is my purpose? What should I do with my life? What path do I take? But if you are genuinely committed to actually creating a life for yourself that you're super pumped about and is nourishing for you and the people around you and filled with community and wholesome activities and just things that are exciting for you, then I really do believe that by the end of the video, you're going to have so much more clarity on how you can actually achieve that. And it's achievable for anybody, no matter what your circumstance is. Like, this is going to be applicable to you. So welcome, sit back, relax, enjoy, stick this on in the car, treat it like a podcast almost if you want. Wishing you the best and see you in the video. How do I know what to do with my life? What should I do with my life? That's the question that you're contemplating if you're here. How do I know which option to choose? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing? What is my purpose? There's probably 3 camps of people watching right now. You might be in a situation that you don't like in your life. And so you're asking the question, what should I do with my life? Because the thing that I'm doing, I don't like. Or you could be in the scenario where you're just not really doing anything and you're in a sort of analysis paralysis state. Maybe you have a bunch of interests, but you don't know which one to do. You don't know which one to pursue. And then you might also be in the camp where you're doing something that you are passionate about, but you're not seeing any progress. You're not seeing any external results. And so you're questioning yourself. You're asking, is this what I'm supposed to do? Because it's not working. And surely the thing that I'm supposed to do should work. It should benefit me. It should reach people. It should generate income. It should bring joy and nourishment to your experience and not frustration and stress. I've been in all of these camps at various points in my life. And what we're going to talk about in this video is going to be applicable to everybody, no matter which camp you're in. Because when we ask that question, what do I do with my life? I believe we already know the answer, but we don't have the courage to act on it. So you're not going to get a quick fix answer to your question in this video, because there is no quick fix for this process. We need to delay gratification when it comes to finding that life that we aspire to live. When we ask the question, what do I do with my life? What we're really asking is, what is the thing that is going to make me feel at ease? What's going to make me feel happy and excited? That's what we're asking. Because the thing is, the fact that you're in a scenario right now that isn't bringing you ease, excitement, and nourishment is an indication that you're not doing the thing that you believe you've been put here to do, whatever it might be. You see, the objective is not to find the thing and then map out our life so that we can achieve that thing or so we can do that thing. That will never happen. There is no set path. There's no one thing that you ought to be doing. Often we have this scarcity mindset where we think, I need to find the one thing that is for me, my one purpose, and I need to do that. And if I don't do that, I'm wasting time. That's not true. You see, all you really need to do is focus on one day at a time, because you might have an idea today. You might decide that you want to explore the entire world. And so you set out on exploring the world. You knock off a few countries off your list. But then like 15 countries in, you realize that it's not nourishing you anymore. The thing that was nourishing you at one point no longer is providing that same value to you. And so why would you consider pursuing that even though it's depleting you now? When we have an idea, that is a good enough reason to pursue that idea for now. But the thing is that that idea and that action associated with that idea may just be propelling you further along a path so that you can have future ideas. So maybe in the scenario I've just discussed, you get to 15 countries, and in the 15th country, you decide you don't want to travel anymore, but you have discovered a new hobby along the way. Maybe you met a new person. Maybe you get into farming. And so now you might have the question, what do I do with my life? Because the traveling wasn't doing it for you. But now you have a new interest in farming. So why not pursue that for a while and see where that leads you? I had an interest in yoga and meditation, and I was interested in facilitating classes around this about 5 years ago. And I pursued that. I did some training, I did some workshops, I facilitated some classes. For about a year I was doing it. And then I decided that it wasn't nourishing me anymore in the way that I imagined it would have. And for a while it was. And so I didn't continue down that path because it wasn't helping me anymore. It was no longer the thing that was bringing excitement to my life. And so at this point, I decided to pivot. At some point, you may have decided to get a job that you wanted at the time, but now years have gone by and you no longer want to be in that position anymore. That doesn't mean to say that you wasted that time. All it means is that right now, there's another option available to you that will bring more nourishment. And that doesn't mean that you need to quit your job and drop everything. But you can invite more of what you want into your life today. And that can just be a very small adjustment. It might involve pursuing a new interest of yours in the evening times. It might involve researching and learning about something that you've been thinking about for a while. And when we do this, we're following little threads of excitement. And as you go down the line, you're going to find more opportunities. And that's how you're going to find what it is you want to do with your life today. But you're not going to find the answer to that question for every day between now and your death. And I know that that's what you want. That's what we all want. We all want the certainty of what it is. We want to know what our purpose is. Your purpose is to be in each moment and each day. And the form of what you're doing is not so important as presence. Earlier I mentioned that you already know what it is that you want to do with your life. You already know what it is you need to do. And what I mean by that is, if you're in a situation right now where you're asking that question, what do I do with my life? Which you must be. You wouldn't still be here. The fact that you're asking that question is an indication that there's an invitation for you to change something in your life right now. And the reason that you're not making that change is most likely due to an intolerance toward delayed gratification. You see, if I plant a seed today, it might take weeks, might take months, depending on what I've planted, to see any result. And so my mind says, I don't want to wait that long. And so I don't even plant the seed. The seed for you today could be going online and investigating a new class that you can attend. Lately, I've been doing contact improvisation. It's a style of dance, and I'd never done it before, but I knew I wanted to do it because I'd heard a lot about it, and I wanted to explore this way of moving with other people. And so I did some research and I found a class to go to, and I've been going to that class. I've been enjoying the practice, and I've been meeting new people. And the seed that I planted was joining a Facebook group. And for a few years, actually, there wasn't any activity in the group. But then one day I got a notification. Workshops had begun, and so I went to a workshop. And I've been really enjoying it. I've been telling my friends about it, and some of my friends have even come to the workshops. And a lot more, no doubt, will unfold from this experience, but it's because I planted that seed quite a while ago. This YouTube channel was also a seed that was planted years and years ago. 2019 was when I started posting things online. And in 2023, I've seen more traction, more interest in what I have to share and say. But the gratification was delayed. And for things that are worthwhile, the gratification is always going to be delayed. So while you might be lacking in patience, you might also be lacking in confidence. And the two are intertwined because we don't act for fear that the vision in our mind won't come to be. Maybe we're afraid of what other people will think. Maybe we're afraid of failing, afraid of judgment. And so without the validation of other people around us, we just freeze and we don't do anything. It's the same with the multiple choices. If you've got a lot of different ideas going on in your mind at the same time, you won't even pursue one because you think that there is a specific way that it needs to go. And you might have a bunch of ideas, but you've never seen anybody do it before. And so you don't want to go into that uncharted territory. And if you don't want to do something because you don't know what your friends or family or the internet or whoever might think, it's the same problem. It's you're afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of the negative potential. And there is going to be challenges. And you can overcome those challenges when they arrive. I know you can. You know that you can. But you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to overcome those challenges. And so you're staying where you are. You're not planting the seed. You see, you know what to do with your life. Today, right now, you know that you're dissatisfied. And you know that there's something that you're interested in, but you're not doing anything about it. And that's okay. But we're here today to realize that you don't need to change everything drastically overnight. We don't need results by the morning. But we need to do something small. We may need to make a gradual change. And people aren't going to support you right out of the gate. But the thing is, by doing the thing that interests you, that's how you're going to meet the people that will support you. That's how you're going to get the validation that you can't yet give yourself. People talk about not needing external validation. You shouldn't need external validation. That's a cool story, but let's be real. External validation is important because if we're not getting any feedback, then it's difficult to comprehend how our offering is relating to the world. So yeah, we don't need to rely solely on external validation, but we need to invite it as well. We need to invite feedback. Be open to learning along the journey. And when you're open to that, you don't even need to worry about being the best, being unbreakable. You just need to know that you can navigate all of the terrain. And you can, but the only way to navigate it is to get into it and to test those waters and figure out, okay, now that I'm here, I can establish a way to move. But until you get there, you're just going to be staying where you are, stuck, stagnant, stationary. And you never even give yourself that opportunity to grow. Up until this point, a lot of what you've done is probably not necessarily the thing that you wanted to do, but it's the thing that you did because society approved of it. It's because your parents approved of it, or your peer group, they were all doing the same thing. And that's okay. There's no shame in doing things that weren't really you in the first place. But now that you're asking the question, what do I do with my life? It's your opportunity to be more conscious in your decision-making process. We're like, okay, so most people are recommended to get a job, get a salary, and work, and move up and get your whatever percentage increase of your salary. And then, you save and you can retire. But if that's not something that excites you today, why not do something that is going to invite a different possibility into your life? That doesn't mean you quit your job. There's a financial reality to this existence. This is a no BS talk about what to do with my life, okay? There is a financial reality. It's very unlikely that you're going to wake up tomorrow and have left your old life behind and stepped into this new paradise. That's an unrealistic expectation. But something practical that you can do today is to investigate something that's piquing your interest. Follow that, see where it leads you, and then repeat that process over and over again. It's not about mapping it all out today. It's about taking steps in a new direction. And so many of us don't believe that we have the permission to do the thing that we want to do. And this ties in with our self-worth, our perception of self. We don't see the value that we have. We don't believe that we're allowed to express ourselves in a way that aligns with us and our values. And so we slot in to be appreciated and approved of by people around us that might not even share the same beliefs. And that's a disservice to yourself. And a way that I have navigated this is to affirm to myself, as I'm doing the things that interest me, that I'm allowed to enjoy myself. I'm allowed to have a flexible life if that's what I desire. I'm allowed to share my voice with the world. I'm allowed to move in weird ways. I have a meditation for that to help cultivate that sense of empowerment and confidence. They're affirmations that I speak to myself, and I recorded them, and that's a free download in the description of this video. I'll stick it there, and that might help you. But this is what it's about. It's about having the confidence to actually make the decision today. And then you do that again tomorrow and the next day. And take the pressure off yourself, because you're probably not going to get results in 3 days. It's very unlikely. But if you do it for a week, a month, a year, the compounding effect is undeniable. And every little choice that you make, I look back to 2018. 5 years ago, I made a choice to live a more grounded and slow-paced life. And I talked about this in one of my other videos about moving to a yoga center on an island where it was just a lot more chill than living in the city. And in making that decision, I wanted to have a new experience, but I didn't know what else was going to come of that. And so much came of that. Like a beautiful relationship came of that. Knowledge came of that. I changed the way that I move my body and the way that I look at food. I learned how to farm. I skinny dipped quite regularly. And these are all things that are still prevalent in my life today. I enjoy exploring these interesting ways of living. And the lessons that I learned back then I've carried through to today. That was a seed I planted a long time ago. And I didn't think any of this would happen as a result of it. But it was following that initial urge. That was the thing that I knew I needed to do in that moment. And now it's led to this compounding effect, which now has me here sharing my insights on this to a lot of people around the world. And this decision to set up and record and speak today is another act just for today. But this is going to compound over time as well. And who knows where this might bring me in 5 years from now. I don't know, but I do know that right now it feels appropriate for me to be here and to share and to speak. And so if there's something right now that you're just slightly interested in, that's a pretty good indication that it's worth pursuing. And you don't need to worry about where it's leading. But it is going to lead somewhere. And the more action you take in accordance with, your heart or your curiosity, rather than acting from a place of fear and scarcity, like, if I don't do this, then this will happen. Or if I do this, then this will happen. Or if I don't do this, this won't happen. All sorts of scenarios we come up with. Imagining and catastrophizing the worst case scenario. Yet we don't allow ourselves to be excited for a possibility that we really enjoy, a possibility that we favor. It's a mindset shift. So much of it is a mindset shift to realizing that you're actually allowed to do what you want to do. You can have a life that you're happier about. Is it going to be rainbows and butterflies all the time? Probably not. But chances are, if you're asking the question, what do I do with my life? There's something right now that you could be doing differently. And a choice today could lead to a hell of a lot of nourishment down the line. but you need to have the courage and have the confidence to take that action today. You already know what to do with your life. You just need to do it. This video has been a much slower, chilled pace because the reality is that you need to take that approach when it comes to figuring out what to do with your life. It's not a quick fix. It's not like boom, boom, boom edits. It's slow, steady progress. And that's what this is about. That's the vibe that I brought to this video. Reminder that you can check out that meditation in the description. If you got a specific issue and you want to do a one-on-one, I'm going to open up a few slots. So I'm going to put a link in the description for that as well, if you want help with a specific issue. Other than that, have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch you in the next video.